All right, so welcome to session 30 of Fever Swamp. Um, who wants to catch us up on what happened last time?
Not a whole lot happened last time, really. We departed Clink on our way to the Catobla Pass and got lost a couple of times. We found a creepy rape potion and poured it out, and we ate a fairy house and were asked politely to leave Fairy Town. Otherwise, we are still largely en route.
Yes.
Am I missing anything important?
Well, Eliwick gave Filsticker a shiny new metal arm.
Oh yes, the arm.
And Kildrak had a nice date with a dwarven merchant lady. But other than that, I think you covered all of the major things that happened. You also found those zombified adventurers, and learned of a great reward being offered for returning the bones of Saint Alphonse from the lost monastery. So that is another thing that happened last time. But yeah, so you are in the hex with the fairy houses, which you have learned you should not eat under penalty of something, and you can see the corpse pile where it is. Where do you go? At what speed do you do it? Oh, I suppose I should roll for weather.
I believe we were heading towards the southwest. We were going to map here along the Reedward path because Lucas, at least, is quite close to level 8. And if we get those two, I believe he will. Let me double check that.
Yeah, we need to go 15 feet southwest, and then 15 more feet northwest.
Would mapping a third hex push anyone else over? We need to get to 6,500, and it's 250 a hex.
I need 1,000.
Actually, I need like 900.
I need 1,250.
Yeah, so I think most of us would need, what, 4 hexes?
I would need 5.
How much was it again, each hex?
250.
250? Alright, yeah.
Do we want to further alter our plans and just try to do...
I don't think everyone needs to level before we fight it. Or maybe everyone does, but I don't know if I feel like doing all that first. Even though I know they're supposed to be really, really scary, if I remember right.
So in that case, we are going to be, as Convalescence says, heading 5 feet southwest.
Very good.
The secret is that we are all really, really tiny. When we leave the swamp, it's going to be a huge shock. Everything is normal sized.
It becomes
now
a very different
game.
game.
How we feel.
Okay. So you need to. It's raining. There's a light rain. You need to select a navigator.
All right. In the rain, Silas is navigating and Ixa is fishing.
Okay, hang on.
No fish for Ixa.
Darn.
And while you might think that is a failure, it turns out that in this part of the swamp, there are almost no trees. Once you get past the once you start heading out into the southwest, it is like a big empty flatland that's just submerged. There are grasses which poke out, and some of them are clumpy enough and problematic enough that you have to go around them, but it's easy to see where you are and not get lost. So Silas is able to keep the trail, keep you heading in the correct direction. You around midday, due to the benefit of the flatness of this terrain, you're able to see quite far, and so you see in the distance 4 men shambling through the shallow part of the water, walking towards the east.
Hello?
You get a little closer in order to shout your greeting, and as you get closer, you realize that these men are deceased, waterlogged corpses walking through the shallows.
Yeah, it would be mean for you to describe normal people walking as shambling in this context.
Well, do we avoid or attack, do you guys think?
I mean, there's a small possibility they might have something, but we can probably avoid it just so we don't waste time when we should probably be mapping.
Yeah. Since you went ahead and pressed close enough to confirm that they were zombies, I'm gonna want you to give me a stealth roll or something to disengage. And get around them. But they're slow and have zombie brains, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
Alright, is anyone actually good at stealth?
I'm not.
I am.
I'm not.
Okay, Bort, lead the way.
Okay. Bort shall lead the way. Watch me roll awfully. Oh no, I did good.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. So, Bort, you're able to take the canoes along a circular route that cuts behind where the zombies were walking, and avoid an unnecessary encounter. And you keep pressing on until late that day, where you find a place to camp. And you set camp. And you have a short rest, and nobody gets infected.
It's going well so far.
And the rain gets worse.
You were
Well,
saying?
That's fine, though, because we're not going anywhere. Ixa, could you see to catching any fish? I'll be focused on keeping my gear dry as we take our notes.
Ixa will try.
Thank you.
Okay. Ixa, give me a perception test with disadvantage. Okay. So, as Ixa is there fishing, as Lucas is mapping this large expanse of not much, you need to give me a wisdom save.
Okay. It's better.
Okay. So, you see something in the water, and you look at it, because you don't, because of your failed perception check, you don't realize what it is until it's too late. You look, and you catch a glimpse of one of those drowning spirits, and it tries to enchant you as it has before and pull you into the water. Yet you resist. What is your immediate reaction?
I suspect it would be to shout for help. Assuming she's not out of range for that.
I mean, you're still in the same canoe.
Oh, we're still in the canoe?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
this is while you're traveling.
Okay, then.
You're just
Takes
like
a shout
trying to
that-
spear fish or something.
Okay, yeah. Then Ixa shouts that she sees the spirit. Sees a spirit in the water. And I'm sure
Right.
draws her sword.
Well, shall we just row on? We probably don't need to fish that badly.
Everyone look upwards.
I'm not
Yeah,
letting
But,
this happen.
see if you
again.
can collect any of this rainwater.
Is looking away an effective defense?
Yes.
It always has been in the past.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to meet their eyes in order for their effect to hit you.
But
Okay.
I'd still like you to roll survival in case you get enough for water, because that's our real limiting agent.
Can Silas help Ixa do that? Also being trained in survival since we're not moving anywhere today?
Sure.
Cool, so he helps very pointedly the entire way, looking up into the sky, even as water cascades into his eyes. It's just not letting this happen again. Oh, well,
To no avail.
But as you spend the day with your chins in the air and only looking at the water very very tangentially, it's fortunate that you're not trying to travel very far, because this does make it a little more difficult to maneuver the boats. But you are able to. You get through the day without anyone falling into the water and being crocodile food. So that's very good for you. And Lucas, make a map.
Alright, Lucas is determined to make this map. Alas, he needed to look at the water to make a map, apparently.
Apparently so. Nines don't get you very far.
I'll have to stay in this hex another day.
Yes. By nightfall, you return to your campsite and you begin to rest. Lucas has a possible infection.
Let's see if I can get below 0 again.
A 9. That is a failure. No matter what disease I roll. Let's see, I rolled a 6. So that is... You awaken with a splitting headache, and are distracted and at -1 to all rolls. Ixa, you are at the level of a paladin where you are immune to disease.
That starts at 3, I believe.
Yeah, I've been immune for a while now.
Okay. I could never remember if it was level 3 or level 5 that you got that.
Yeah, I guess
Oh.
normally that's considered a pretty tangential benefit.
Right, yeah. In any game other than the Fever Swamp, it's kind of like, oh yeah, well that's cool. But
Yeah. Here it's very, very useful.
yeah. I guess it would also be useful in any game where you're like fighting Slot a lot or something. Because I think their things count as diseases. Oh, that reminds me though, speaking of leveling up, I realized between sessions that there had been a mistake, and Bort was existing without an archetype. So that has been corrected. Bort is now a battle master.
Congratulations, Mort.
Uh-huh. I thought he would have went champion.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them are cool, though.
Battlemaster just has a lot of utility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how your battle maneuvers and stuff work, so that's on you to tell me how they work. But yeah, so Battlemaster Bort, good to know. Okay, so Ix is immune, so that's not a problem. Roll for weather. The sky is clear the next day, and Lucas awakes with a splitting headache.
Tea. I need is tea.
Yes. Over the
Ixa
course
can
of
help, but
Yeah.
she only has 10 points of lay hands left.
Well, save it for now. We'll be at the village with the fish. Couple more days. If I'm still feeling sick, then I'll talk then.
Very good. So all right. Whoever's doing the are you going to? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you going to do the mapping again today? Try another time.
Yes, I'm not just determined for show.
Okay. Then give me a survival, or whoever's foraging should do a survival check.
That would be Silas on a day like this. It would seem as though we are not foraging successfully.
No, unfortunately not.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, around the midday, you see one of the few standing trees in this part of the swamp. And it's an old dead tree, and sitting on the branches is a ugly little creature. It looks like a very scrawny man with a crow's beak and filthy black feathers all over it. And it looks half starved as it sits in this tree and it looks at the party with with a human like eyes behind its nasty beak.
I think I heard that.
Yes, we heard you, Sala. Finally, we heard a boo. And now I'm seeing your flash, but I'm not hearing you anymore. I still can't hear you. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording and just take a break while we wait for Sala to figure this out.
Oh, okay. That works.
Okay, we are back. Sala is with us, albeit quietly. And so, you have the situation that I described before. You see this weird feather bird man, in a tree. And he sees you, because he has, he can see everything around here.
Oh no.
Bort's going to wave and see if it responds in a
Phil sticker.
way that isn't hostile.
What's that?
Oh god, what is that?
Philster,
You were supposed to know that.
Let me consult my brain.
yes,
Spout lower.
He reaches in his pocket and gets.
yes, roll to spout lore, specifically with, religion. Okay. 21. You
God.
you know all the things. I'm just going to send you the stat block and the description, and you will know all the things that I know. There you go. That is what it has.
No one else look at that.
I suppose I should have PM'd it, but
Your knowledge is communal.
He tells everyone, "Oh God, it's a leech chewer. Make sure you don't have any leeches on your body. It's a ghost, and it eats leeches."
Right. Well,
and blood.
it seems
Right,
like
it
an
wants the
asset
blood.
for the community.
It wants. Well, no, because it will whoop on you and rip the things out.
See, well, we'll want to be sure to burn any leeches we see on ourselves, but otherwise, I suppose we leave it alone.
As long as none of us go in the water, it'll probably be okay.
I swear to God, if there's fucking drowning spirits here.
Well, we could distract it if we have any meat on hand to chuck somewhere else for it to go inspect. Not exactly sure why they want the meat though. There's no blood in it. I mean, unless it was butchered poorly.
Do you think it would even be interested in some sliced sausage?
Well,
I don't know. That depends. That depends on if it actually wants to eat the meat or if it goes after the meat because it thinks there's blood in it. It
it's
might not even
possible
recognize the sausage as.
possible
Uh-oh.
that the meat just attracts more leeches than it eats the leeches.
Well, it only wants. It only wants the leeches when there's blood in them. That's why it's eating the leeches. so it doesn't, go for wild leeches. It's watching us because we're filled with delicious blood. The leeches will get out and grow like a delicious blood fruit on your body.
That's one way of putting it, I suppose.
So not an immediate threat to us. At least.
Billsticker is aware that it may try and follow you, and stalk you and wait for you to get covered in leeches and or bloodied some other way. But because you are encountering it in the very open part of the swamp, it won't exactly be able to do that stealthily.
I mean, I guess if it tries to follow us, then we can always just chunk some meat at it or away from us and go away.
That's a good idea. Eventually, we'll catch a fish again, and when that happens, we'll just share.
I really
Eventually,
feel
we'll
like
share a big pot of blood.
I really feel like we're not supposed to solve so many of the problems in the swamp by sharing. I feel like we're in a Care Bears episode that went very wrong.
Well, you know what? Almost every not everyone, but almost every monster in the swamp has like something you can do to avoid having to fight it. There are some things that like, the undead are just like, well, they're going to fucking try and kill you and eat your body. But
Well, let me put it to you like this.
Yeah.
How much do you think a fish really costs? Like a copper piece, 2 copper pieces? It's probably cheaper to throw a fish at it than to shoot an arrow at it. Unless our goal is to eradicate all ghosts and evil in the swamp, which I don't think it is, there's really no benefit to us from attacking this thing instead of bribing its fish.
Maybe we're just bad role players and we're letting our natural desire to be friends with everything sleep.
I mean, keep in mind that in original D&D, it wasn't, or not original, but some version of D&D, it was designed so that you didn't have to fight every encounter you had. As long as you just made it past the encounter, you got your XP. So you weren't necessarily expected to fight every single enemy you came across.
Fever Swamp is designed to be like an old school OSR adventure. I've added a lot to it, but at its core, it is that.
Yeah, like the idea that they have so many monsters built-in things to get past them in a peaceful or creative way is, I assume, less of a thematic statement about how people ought to act, like generously, and more necessary reaction to the fact that you have like 1d6 hit points in the games that this was actually written for. So, like Sullen Stars, like if you fight people, or if you go out and try to fight people, your character is not going to last very long, and it's not a very good way to go about things.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's good monster design. Each of these monsters has a thing that it does other than looking for PCs and forcing a confrontation with them. And, if you happen to have someone in the party who knows all of the monsters of the swamp, then you can safely navigate the swamp. What this was is fight monster or make a knowledge check to skip fight. We just keep making our knowledge check to skip fight. I think it's actually a really good design for a random encounter that it provides you a skill out or a fight out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I was running this in a more old school manner, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't tell you that they have these things that they want. But we are playing 5th edition. You do have skills, and I only think that it's reasonable with certain backgrounds that, you know, like Philsticker should know about some of the creatures in the swamp, and, you know. It's like, oh yes, scumboggles. They love human flesh and cheese.
Yeah,
And
skills do
me.
exist, so you might as well use them.
Mm-hmm. But okay. So you're going to leave the leech chewer in the tree?
For now.
Okay. As you go on by, it does swoop down from the tree down to another bit of land, and it's trying to stalk the party. It's going to be following you, waiting for a chance for a meal. But unless someone wants to do something about that, excuse me, Lucas can take his cartography roll.
All right.
But I think
I could roll stealth to try and juke it, possibly.
Your boats are kind of slow, and it can like leap from island to island with like a can't really fly, but it can like go a short distance. Yeah, and you're all in the open, so I don't really think that like it's gonna be possible for you to lose it with stealth. Maybe if you get into the treed part of the swamp, but then it can jump from tree to tree, so it'll be difficult, I think. You can try. You can try, but I think it's going to be a hard stealth check. You need a 20.
I was expecting to just have to roll with disadvantage, but that works too. I'll give it a shot, see if we can just slip away from it, do some trickery.
Disappear behind some tall grass. And...
Well, if I had advantage, that would have succeeded.
But I'm afraid not. So yeah, it's still following you. Lucas. Mapping?
Lucas is determined to map this hex.
All right.
Yes.
You do the thing.
Hooray.
Switch over to map layer. Grab a map token. Copy it. Put it there. Right there. You have mapped the big expanse of nothing. Anyway, there's like little islands and shit. There's stuff there. You have mapped it. Very good. And you camp. And Philsticker, your body betrays you.
Fuck.
I rolled a 7. Hold on, that might be important.
Oh no!
Yes, you get advantage on this save.
What was that?
Because because in the previous version you get a big bonus to resist being infected with a transfiguration worm.
Oh, okay.
But in this case it's yeah. All right. Philsticker, as you're sitting around the campfire, you feel something crawl up your back, and are quite horrified. And you grab it with your new goblin robot hand, and you hook it and you pull it off of you. And there on your hook is the thing you have come to recognize as the Transfiguration Worm. You have captured it before it implanted itself into your spine.
Yeah, I have to be careful and not sell this to Agatha.
Yeah. Well, I
Hey,
mean,
look,
you already
all
sold one to her, but her
fixed
sister
configuration.
Sally lives right over here. You could sell it to her.
All right.
Thank you, Phil Sticker. I actually would like one. I'm curious about Drip's fate. Perhaps in time I'll have time to study this, learn more about it.
After you, he holds out his hook and claw with a transfiguration worm on it. I assume it's still kind of alive.
Yeah, it's still kind of alive.
All right. Lucas will hold open a vial for it.
Okay. Yeah, you bottle it up.
I actually bought 2 glass bottles on my sheet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have a jar of worm.
But since we've established that a transfiguration worm would be purchased by Sally for 50 gold, even if we don't sell it, can we get the XP for it when we bring it back to Clink?
Maybe. I will think about it.
They can put it in some green liquor later.
That's probably a bad idea. I don't know what that would do.
Makes you hallucinate.
Probably nothing.
You hallucinate, but the hallucinations are real.
You were free to experiment. Of
I don't know.
course.
Just put it in Jason's brew and feed it to someone.
No, I am going to want to make a study of it. I want to know what's happening to Drip. That could be years of work, but it's something I'll want to do at some point. So thank you, Phil Sticker.
Horrid images of Nelson super soldiers pass through Filster's. He suppresses the urge to eat Lucas. What have I done?
You've made a great victory for the forces of law. Thank you, Phil Sticker. Primus thanks you.
I saw I was driving past the truck on my way to Knoxville last week and
Mm-hmm.
covered in dust, and in the dust someone had smeared Primus sucks. So I thought you should know Primus sucks.
Very good. All right then. So, yes. The next day, clear skies. What's on the agenda? As if I could not guess. Traveling there, yes. All right.
And Lucas is on fishing duty this time. He actually has a pole, so just pointing that one out.
All right.
Oh, wonderful.
Good, you got to borrow my glass bottle that I actually bought, and we'll assume I borrow Lucas's fishing pole for the survival checks.
Actually, I was fishing this time, but
I just mean in general. So
I also actually had a vial. So.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm not actually useful at all.
Sorry. So that's a D6 plus wisdom, and how much water?
A D4 plus wisdom water.
Hooray.
Quite good. Silas, you were navigating today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn it. No, never mind. I'm sorry. I didn't need to roll.
Yes. Okay. So, the um the day passes easily. You see um Silas and Bort, give me perception checks.
Oh boy. And this. Except I'm not.
Okay. So Bort, with that 21, um you see well ahead of when they were going to be able to ambush you that there is a mess of crocodiles swimming in the water up ahead. They look to you to be looking for food. And you can't quite tell how many there are because some of them are, submerged underwater, but you can tell that there are several, at least.
Crocs in the water. We should probably try and find another route.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah. With that 21, you're able to see them far enough in advance that it isn't much of a problem to go around. And you manage to do so. And Phil Sticker, also give me a perception roll.
Sorry, it took me a minute to find.
Okay. You don't see anything then. And yeah, and you continue on past the crocodiles, and you make it to the next area. And you set camp, and nobody dies. And you have a short rest overnight, and the sky remains clear, and you are here.
Let's make a map of.
Well, we're gonna need to nap first. But we're making
Napping
good
and napping.
progress. Yeah. So that's I suppose Silas on fishing, and you can borrow the rod, and Lucas will map.
Okay. So as you are exploring the region, while you're in the western side of the hex, you see coming out from the trees a small army of the undead. You recognize one among them as one of those chieftains you encountered before, wrapped in protective leathers and wielding that dredger tooth, wielding one of those dredger tooth swords. It's surrounded by 6 armed skeletal warriors, each carrying a sword and bow, and wearing scraps of armor. soldiers of old Nilfenberg brought back to serve this white, and bolstering his ranks, a levy of 5 additional waterlogged zombies shambling forth from the swamp. The clearing here has let you see them from quite a far ways off, but they are marching east. What do you do?
Is it more northeast or more southeast?
More directly east.
Well,
Can't immediately think of a goal. Or
so where do we recognize this chieftain from? We think he's just. Is he like. We're
Oh,
seeing him
I
from
think
pretty
it's
far
gonna
out.
be
We
a
probably don't
local.
know beyond that he's dressed like a local, right?
I think insofar as we've seen undead like this before.
Yeah.
Like the bastard that stole our canoe.
Yeah,
Turned
that-
it into this cool skeleton.
Yeah, that was my intention. You've seen this particular type of undead before.
I see.
It's the same
Get
type
them
of
on our
undead
boat.
that stole your canoe and also proved to be a tough bastard in a fight.
Right. Well, we did steal the canoe back.
You did. You
I'm
did
not
kill
happy
one.
about that. And I'd lay some odds he'll be able to control our canoe. So I think we might be better off fighting. What do you guys think?
I think it would be possibly be a good idea to try to attack that chieftain from the farthest range we can, just to, eliminate him as a problem. But I also think that your point about him controlling our boat is probably correct.
Yeah, the boat thing is a really good call because I have a feeling it might very well work that way.
Yeah, and I hadn't considered that.
So I also vote for avoid.
Same, given the canoe thing.
Yeah, if at all possible.
All right. In order to avoid him, you're going to have to bunker down and hide while they get past. Fortunately, there are places to do that. However, I'm going to need someone to make a stealth check for the party. I think at disadvantage for hiding the entire party.
Does anyone have decent stealth and inspiration?
I was gonna say, Slag, do you have inspiration?
I haven't had inspiration for the past 10 sessions.
That's not true. I gave both you and Kildrek inspiration when you talked to Odo on the way back to Clink last time.
If we aren't going to fight, this is probably also a good time to use a bardic inspiration.
Does that?
It helps skill checks.
Oh, then hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. Quietly though.
Sneak, sneak, sneak through the scary swamp.
Use the inspiration that I apparently missed that I got.
Yes.
And that just makes it normal.
Right.
Oh.
And then you'll get to add a D6 for Kildrak's bardic inspiration.
It's a D6 still.
Alright. Okay.
If you decide you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Here's hoping. Here's hoping I don't need to, and here's hoping that if I do need to, it'll actually be effective. Okay.
Hey.
Not bad. Is that enough?
Just go ahead and throw that d6 on. It's not like it'll.
It only
last
lasts
long.
for 10 minutes, so
Yeah.
doesn't hurt.
Not quite as much as I'd hoped. In fact, one off from what I was hoping.
All
I was
right.
hoping for that
Well-
sweet 2-0, but
Well, 25 is like a heroic effort. I did roll a perception test for him, and it's nowhere near that. Well, I guess it's near that, but it isn't. He's fairly wise, but he didn't break a 20, and you got a 25. So Bort tells everybody to shut up, and he directs everyone into hiding spots. You all crouch down in the tall grass and hold your breath as the corpses come ever closer. There was nowhere to run. You had to hide. They come close. You can hear them splashing through the shallow water nearby. You get a dramatic glimpse of the chieftain White as he walks right past your hiding spot. The chieftain Whites, they were ancient kings of the people and have been turned into a sorts of bog mummies underneath their protective leather wraps. The iron in his sword, his sword is kind of like an Aztec Macalatl, or however it's pronounced. But instead of obsidian, it's got the never rusting iron of the dredger teeth. Which is very prized by the people of the swamp. And he walks right past your hiding spot, and his army moves on past, and they continue on, and you wait another half an hour in silence as they get farther and farther away until they disappear out of your line of sight. And you are safe.
Good.
And Lucas, I think you were mapping today, yes?
Yes, that was close, but Lucas is happy to have avoided a fight with the skill checks. He can focus on how determined he is to map the swamp.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Hex is mapped with a 26. Can't beat that. And you make camp.
It's interesting how much the mapping rules that they used led to us making like map highways.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of mostly me, I think. It's a combination of me and what the DMG says about mapping an area. But yeah. It is kind of funny how that worked. And you're using maps to build your highways through the swamp. It makes sense, though.
It does.
You create the paths that you know, and then you can use those paths. But if you have to deviate, then it's uncharted terrain again.
It does make a ton of sense. It's just interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So miasma for tonight. Everyone's good. You get a short rest. It's light rain the next day. But yeah, here you have it. You're in the swamp.
All right. Today we make for the village of the Faceless Ones. we'll want Ixa fishing and Silas navigating. And yeah, we're well on track. How's Lucas's headache coming along?
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have made an additional save. You should have rolled a Constitution save in the end of each night. With a 3 and a 7, it has not gotten any better.
Well, when we've arrived safely, Lucas will ask for magical assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, there's still the chance that we'll get there. The village of the Faceless Ones will have been burned down or something, and we'll be stuck in the swamp. So we're gonna ration that a bit longer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So no lay hands yet.
Not just yet, please.
All right.
All right. So, Ixa, that was, Ixa was foraging and Silas was navigating?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you were moving at doubles time today, yes? Trying to get to the village? I'm understanding.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So, front boat people, give me give me perceptions.
Oh boy. Well, I rolled the exact same thing when I accidentally double clicked, so. Lucky numbers from Ixa.
Okay. I'm not. What numbers did you get?
19 for
13.
me,
Okay.
12 for Kildrak, and 9 for Silas.
9.
All right. So, as you're heading south, everyone who got over a 15, you were the first to see them. That's, 7, 8, 9. You see 9 skeletons marching, armed and armored, and marching to the towards the east. You see them about 100 feet away.
I should very much like to know why all of the undead are traveling east, Lucas commented. But I'm not sure if destroying them will answer that question. What do all of you think?
Are they going to meet the corpse pile, perhaps?
That's what I was thinking. But fighting them probably wouldn't really tell us anything now.
Well, I certainly hope they aren't on their way to the corpse pile. If the corpse pile had been animated by whatever magic was escaping this place, then we could hope to eliminate it by eliminating that magic. But if it's merely gathering them, difficult.
Oh, for meta reasons, I now feel we don't have a choice about this.
You absolutely do.
We got Final Fantasy swooshed into a battle scene.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Okay, so where are the archers?
They're all archers.
Oh,
They're also all swordsmen.
They're all soldiers.
Yes.
I dislike that. Enemies are supposed to be single purpose.
yeah, why do they get multi-class?
Why haven't I multi-classed yet? 5th level, that's when I'll do it. The 3rd level spells are all lame anyway.
Everyone's rolling initiative, it seems.
4
Okay,
is my
so-
standard number.
Before we get too far along this, we probably should just ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, it makes less sense to fight this group than it did the last group. Because the last group at least contained intelligent undead that make other undead. This group is just a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone going to say no if I say we don't fight them?
No,
I'm
I agree.
not really attached to fighting the skeletons. I don't have a great desire.
If we
We
can
can-
avoid fighting the skeletons, that would be
If
great.
you can avoid them, I'm happy with that.
I'm sorry, Telgan, that got garbled. What did you say?
I'm happy with avoiding them if we can.
Mm-hmm. It is still possible to avoid them.
Then we avoid them.
Okay. It's possible to avoid them. Bort, you're gonna need a stealth roll.
I figured as much. 24.
Okay, they physically can't beat a 24.
That dwarf really knows how to lay low.
Yeah.
I've been doing this my entire life.
Are you sure you're not a rogue?
I mean, I actually kind of am, given my background.
Yeah, I know. And that's really cool that 5th edition allows you to do that. So yes, so Bort sees no real profit in this fight, and you all decide to back off and lay low. You
Activates the cloaking field.
You retreat back a ways and disappear behind some trees, and crouch low in your boats, and wait for the skeleton, the platoon of. Excuse me, I'm sorry. For the platoon of skeletons to move past, and conflict is avoided. You continue on your way south until you reach the village of the Faceless Ones. By that evening, Faceless Ones are out on the the docks where their rafts are kept. Trying to hurry quickly so they can get back to their fire, but they see your approach. People run inside, and before long, the nameless shaman comes out to meet you again, and they wave at you as you approach.
Hello again. Would you mind if we made camp here tonight? We're on our way to fight the Katobla Pass before seeking the advice of Grandfather Rot. And it would be nice to recover from a long journey from Clink.
The nameless shaman, he nods when you ask to spend the night, and when you mention killing the Katobla Pass, he seems to perk up at that, and he gestures that you follow him, and he invites any who wish to join into his hut.
Please, just a moment. Except, it's probably safe now. Could you ask the gods to please make my head stop hurting?
Okay, Nixa will try. And she touches you, and poof, all better.
Ah, that's a relief.
Better than tea.
Better than tea.
And yeah. So I assume Lucas. Who else is going to join the faceless
Me.
one shaman? Phil Sticker. Okay.
Phildrak is gonna go.
Okay. Silas Bort, are you going as well? Ixa?
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I suppose I will.
Okay.
sorry, where were they headed exactly?
To speak in private with the shaman of the faceless ones, who has invited
We don't
you
know what he's
over
gonna do to
for.
us.
He's invited you over for mysteries and probably food.
Silas can watch the boats.
Yeah, Ixa.
Ixa what?
She'll join them.
Okay. So, you come in, and the shaman removes his cloak that has gotten quite wet with the rain, and hangs it up, and he takes a seat at his place across from his fire, and other faceless ones come and they bring you food, and they bring you some sort of swamp wine, and he encourages you to eat and drink.
Well, thank you. We will.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least.
Yes. And his apprentice is there, and as you are eating, you hear, as he is eating, in fact, you hear his voice directly into your head, and he says, "So you seek to slay the Katobla Pass." Everyone in the tent hears it.
Well, yes. Our guide Philsticker seems to think it will earn the favor of Grandfather Rot, and that he in turn may help us
Oh,
to
definitely.
arrest the corpse pile, which has become
It
something
hurts
of
the
a problem.
swamp. He doesn't like it.
Hmm. The shaman nods. It would be doing a great favor, and I'm sure Grandfather Rot will reward you handsomely for the death of such a creature. But are you prepared to face it?
We have faced many great challenges before. I think that we can defeat it. And certainly if we can't defeat it, I wouldn't risk us against what waits below.
Hmm. He nods. He says, "Slay it quickly. These creatures have struck great warriors dead with but a single look. Get surprise, kill it quickly. And perhaps then not all of you will die."
Do you know of any other weaknesses it bears?
No weaknesses. It is a large animal. It is strong. It is an animal. It is not intelligent. If you can fool it, trap it, trick it. Those things may work to your advantage.
Is there any food that you know of that it particularly likes, other than people?
It eats only that which its foul magic has rotted into sludge and death. It kills plant life and rots meat, and then eats what remains. If you had an old corpse or something, that might work as bait.
It's unfortunate. It means my illusions probably won't do anything to it.
Why would you think
Well,
that?
now it can be
I've-
fooled, he said. So
Yes, I've heard of fishing expeditions that have attempted to use magic in that way. Others as well. Generally, animals are quite weak against illusion. That might well serve us.
You can certainly try.
and if we can't, it's not like corpses are all that rare in the swamp.
That's true.
So once you have slain this beast, you intend to visit Grandfather Rot himself?
Yes. Our guide seemed to think that that may be our best option to contact him.
Hmm. Well, he looks at Phil Sticker, and he sees Phil Sticker's eye, which marks him as a warlock of Grandfather Rot. And he says, he would know.
Yeah, listen to him.
And yeah, you have your meal. And yeah, and the next day comes. The sky is clear, and you are free to take a long rest in their village if you like.
You said a long rest?
So I've got to level up here, because Or that was the 500 from the 2 hexes. I can do that,
Yes.
right?
Yes, everyone gets 500 XP for the 2 hexes that you mapped. If causes you to hit the threshold to level up, since you were taking a long rest, you may do so now.
Well, what's the threshold for level 5?
6,500.
28 points away.
Oh.
One more hex would have done it.
Yep.
Didn't we? Oh no, we didn't. It wasn't decided on the value of the worm.
Well, we have some loot, but we only get loot XP when we get it to Clink
Oh,
because
right.
we're economic imperialists.
Yes. Yes. You have to get loot somewhere where you can potentially have profited from it.
Okay.
And they don't really have a lot of coin here.
Obviously, we need to bring over some economics and enlighten them.
There was an attempt at this. It didn't work out.
So I have a difficult set of choices to make. Normally, my go-to here was going to have been to get Fireball, because
Obviously.
and remove Curse, because that's something that Lucas has been working on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
However, we might want to consider Sleet Storm, which, although we will not gain really any benefit from the slick part, it does create an area that's heavily obscured. So we'll all have disadvantage to attack it, but it won't be able to see us.
That
Would be.
yeah.
Also, making it snow on the swamp to kill the Catoblepass just has a certain kind of appeal.
It wouldn't be able to see or target us at all.
It would, in principle, it would have disadvantage to attack, but if as a gaze attack, that might be somehow worse. I don't know the exact wording of how the Catoblepass is written.
Hmm. Does it deal
But yeah,
damage?
more or less. Sorry?
Does the sleet spell deal damage?
No. It makes all of the terrain difficult, makes all of the terrain a grease spell, and it obscures vision, so ranged attacks have disadvantage.
How much damage did Fireball do?
8d6.
Whew.
That is a lot.
You could take Fireball and Sleet, and then whenever Felstger gains the level, remove Curse could be something I take.
I don't know, I don't think I'd cast both spells in this fight, because it will probably move, and we're going to have to stay at. There's 2 different approaches, because the Sleet Storm's radius is only a little bit bigger than the Fireball's. We would want to get close, ambush it, and then have Lucas ready his action to, once the ambush part is done, create the Sleet Storm so that it can't just gaze at us and murder us. Those would be mutually exclusive approaches, I think. Whereas with the Fireball, we would actually want to hang out far away from it and lob a couple at it, and then try to lose it, and then attack it later in the day, and do more of a guerrilla approach to this, where we like try to attack it at extreme range, then run and hide, and then find a way to attack it at extreme range again. Because we don't know the range of its gaze attack either, but it's probably less than a longbow.
How many spell slots do you have where you can cast Fireball?
It looks like I'm going to have 2.
Hmm. That's tough. I'm wondering if the Sleet Storm, we'll have disadvantage to attack it too, right?
Yeah. That is a two-way curse, and I'm not sure how useful it will be ever again. I would much rather have been in a town where I could have bought like a scroll Fog Cloud, or even just learned Fog Cloud as a first level spell, but not in Jasmine's book, and I don't think they have an arcane library in the Village of the Faceless One. So it's just not going to work out. And even
Yeah.
then, it both approaches are questionable. They both have significant flaws to them.
Can you miss with Fireball?
No,
Okay.
I can save for half, but
Yeah, I'm wondering if the disadvantaged attack it would be too much of a problem for us. So
I mean,
think...
it really depends how well it counters its gaze attack. If we have disadvantage and we're fighting what is effectively a goat with 21 strength rather than a death laser, I think that us having disadvantage is a small price to pay. But if we're only like getting advantage on the save against its gaze attack, then no.
Right, and we don't know which one is the case, obviously, but we know no matter what, Fireball is going to do damage to it. It's going to hurt it.
So the the disadvantage that you would give it, that's on attack rolls, or
it gives it it creates an area of heavy obscurity, which basically means anything within that area is blinded. So it if it knows where you are, it can attack with like if you're near it, it can attack with disadvantage, I believe. And it won't be able to use like ranged attacks basically at all because it won't be able to know where you are.
okay. So from that, it sounds like the ice one is the better option in this case.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm leaning Fireball myself, but that might just be like general kind of meme, like you have to take Fireball. You're
Well,
not
if
a
it-
wizard if you don't have Fireball.
I mean, like the thing is, right?
Well,
I could give it disadvantage in a couple of ways, but that's just raw disadvantage. You know, that doesn't.
It's not blinding it.
That's not blinding it, and that doesn't. That's disadvantage on attack rolls. Right? It's not disadvantage on anything that's just a straight challenge.
Also, what are we gonna do, like, after you fireball or after you sleet it? Because after you sleet it, we're just gonna attack it with everything we have, so that'll enable everyone else to do whatever damage we're all capable of doing a little bit better. But fireball would be another attack, right?
It's true, but on the other hand, Sleet Storm is not a very good spell to have in our kit. It's not likely to help us. Well, might put reptiles to sleep. No, that's asking a bit much from that spell.
Are your I don't know wizards in 5th edition. Are you able to retrain your spells?
No, I can scribe new ones.
Okay.
But
so this is a permanent thing for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's
But-
only spending the free spells that he gets because he can learn like any wizard spell that he can purchase as scroll form, I think.
Yeah. So theoretically, if he finds like another wizard's spell book, or he finds somewhere where he can actually like just buy a scroll,
And also, we're not broke because it costs a lot of money.
and also because he's not broke because it costs a lot of money, theoretically he can learn every spell on the wizard list or have access to them because he can only have so many prepared at once. He just gets some free ones whenever he levels up. The only problem is that the swamp doesn't really have like a wizard's tower. There isn't a wizard of the swamp yet until Lucas becomes it, and becomes the weird old swamp wizard. So there's no one for him to like buy an additional spell from.
Right.
Because
So
you guys killed the only other wizard.
She deserved it. Anyways,
I don't disagree, but
So basically, for now, until we eventually leave the swamp, or yeah, for that makes this a effectively permanent choice for him.
yeah.
All right, well, here's this question: how big of an area did it affect, and could the Catobla Pass just walk out of it?
Yes. If it can figure that out, it can. And it might just panic and bolt when it starts snowing, and a thing that has never happened to it before. Or it might run around like an excited puppy. We really don't know. But the radius on it is only is only 40 feet, so it's they won't get out in a single move action probably. But if it bolts, it bolts. We can just sit in it and keep firing arrows random ass in its direction, but that's not great either. I'm leaning back towards fireball.
Running away does seem like a pretty natural animal reaction to suddenly being blind, so...
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the range on Fireball?
It's 150 feet. It's really good.
Oh, wow.
No, that is good.
Yeah, maybe we should just go with Fireball.
Damn, Fireball is so damn good.
It's really hard to complain about.
150 feet, 20-foot radius, 8d6 fire damage, failed save, 46 on a success. Just point at something, and it's damage.
And since Lucas is ostensibly cursed, remove curse does matter to him.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to happen to him first thing in the morning. He's going to remove that curse.
All right.
I guess that's prepared today instead of probably instead of find vehicle. That's a better emergency spell. Okay. But that can now be cast at a level where I can create a celestial barge.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Which will be very handy when we want to go to the Ur Corpse, because we're going to lose all our boats.
Yeah.
You'll have to have a celestial bar after you save the world by delving into the Ur Corpse and return on your celestial barge as triumphant heroes. Everyone will know your names surely.
Primus himself built the float for my parade. But yeah, I'm leveled up.
Okay.
The best news
Did
is
you,
has got to be this. It didn't look impressive because it didn't roll great, but Firebolt is up to 2d10s.
Nice.
Very good. Excellent. So, also, the achievement unlocked music plays for Lucas. Da 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 da. You have reached tier 2. When Lucas dies, you may make a new character of 5th level.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
That
Oh,
may
I
be useful
forgot.
soon.
That was the thing.
Let's kill him
Yes.
right now and try it out.
Well, maybe we all should have leveled up first then, huh?
We do really need a ranger, but
Yes.
I think we could justify if we wanted to mapping the hex north and south of the Catobla Pass hex. But how much hex mapping do we want to do before we fight this thing? I will leave up to the people who aren't playing characters pathologically obsessed with mapping hexes.
Well, we would have to do another long rest after having. Why don't we map them after we kill the? No, wait. Okay. I don't care. I have to map a lot of hexes.
I mean, I don't particularly want to map more hexes first. It's more not having to regain that many levels. in the almost inevitable occasion that at least a couple of us die.
All right. I might bump up the number of potions that I keep prepared. Actually, normally I only keep 2. I'm not sure because I can just make them overnight when we camp. Do you guys think I should be preparing more of them or just burning them at camp?
I only have a vague idea of how your whole potion thing works, honestly, so I'm not sure what, like, the limiting factor is or what it means to make more, what you're sacrificing, or...
So more or less, on a short rest, I could expend a spell slot to make a potion associated with that spell level. Normally, I keep a supply of them around so I can hand them out immediately after or during fights. My question is really, should I? Or should I just make them as we need them? Maybe just 1.
Okay, right. So you have to, like, give up first level spell slots at the beginning of the day or whatever to have potions later on?
Yes, but I can do it at the end of the day, sort of.
Yeah, then I think you might as well keep the slots, because we might need, like, some unforeseen utility spell or something. And it's not like we have, like a GURP situation where someone is going to be bleeding out and needs a potion to not die.
I'll still keep 1 just in case we do have that GURP situation, but... Yeah, the extra shield spell is probably going to be better sometimes, so better give myself the option. Alright.
Alright. So, other than discovering that you can throw a fucking fireball now, Lucas, does anyone have anything that they want to do in the Village of the Faceless Ones on your day off?
Nothing that specifically comes to mind for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Already got
Yeah.
cruise.
Did
Yeah.
anyone else need a curse lifted?
No, I am uncursed.
Yeah, fortunately, no.
So Lucas is going to cast Remove Curse upon himself?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So let's handle that now. So, as you cast the... does Remove Curse require any sort of special components or anything like that? It's just...
Nope.
Okay. So, you touch yourself, and you feel a little mote of evil lodged into your guts, and as you're casting the spell, you feel it moving up through your back up through your intestines where it was lodged, through your stomach, up your esophagus, and you vomit out the iron tooth that Mama fed you.
Ugh.
Well,
It was Sally, but ugh.
Oh, Sally, sorry. That Sally fed you. And you don't know how good it was that you did that. But the tooth is out. The curse, whatever it was, has been lifted.
That's good. Lucas will clean the tooth off, and like drop it in a fire. These people have a campfire, right?
they own fires. They were mentioned.
I'm sorry, I spaced out for a moment. What was said?
I'm going to melt the tooth in one of their campfires after prestidigitating everything clean.
Okay.
I don't just want to leave like a pile of vomit in their town. That would be rude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been nice to us.
Yeah. So, yeah. You heat up the tooth, and eventually, eventually it manages. You manage to melt it. And it's just a slag of black iron.
Okay.
Turns out it wasn't the curse at all. The curse was in your soul.
Well, I'm not gonna like try to keep the iron.
Okay.
You know, one day, millennia from now, someone in the village of the Faceless Ones will like try to be getting motes of iron the very old-fashioned way for like a YouTube video, and some of the tooth will wind up in there, and they won't eat it, so it'll be fine.
Either that, or they will have created some sort of minor cursed object, and whoever's house it so resides in just has bad luck, and they don't know why.
All the maps they look at end up being wrong in subtle ways.
Yes. All right. So the next day comes. The sky remains clear. You are all rested, hit points restored, abilities recovered, spells readied. Ready to adventure. Philsticker, I said hit points recovered. Why is your token still not recovered its hit points?
Oh, sorry, whatever. I'll go get them.
Fine. If you don't want those hit points, I'll just take them away.
There you go.
All right. And it didn't work on you. Okay, now it updated. Where are you going? What are you doing? And how are you intending to do it?
We are going to travel a day north, and then we're going to move at a quick speed northwest.
All right.
Following day.
Jeez. What's with the encounter table today? Jesus.
Is it another group of undead traveling east?
Yes.
Well,
there's only a 1 in 12 shot when you're going through of encountering undead in a mapped area, and you've gotten it again.
You know, we should seriously consider if just fireballing the corpse pile isn't the right approach rather than going down there. But
Something used to fear.
The fucking
corpses are all
skeleton
gone,
army is
dude.
formed.
All right. So whoever's in the front boat, give me a perception check. Okay, Bort, you see it pretty early on.
I'm glad I see it. Nobody else is.
This thing's stupid and bad at seeing.
There's more of them.
Yes. I don't.
Well,
Damn it! There's no.
I was still looking up.
I've been for days. Pissed all over my shoes the other day.
Just never
Didn't
looking
notice,
down again.
luckily.
Okay, so Bort, you see again once more you see one of the chieftain whites leading a small group of these undead.
And once more, I will try and lead the group to avoid them. That wasn't the best roll possible.
All right, let me see what you got.
13.
13. All right. Well, I'm gonna give him a roll. All right. He did not roll very good at all. That's a 7. Yes. So
We sneak by.
Yes. You once more see this another one of these mummies commanding dead soldiers and other assorted zombies, and heading towards um heading northeast this time. But you lay low and are able to avoid their detection.
Something tells me we're going to have to deal with that at some point. It's not going to be fun.
There must be a whole pile of undead out there.
You mean like a pile of corpses?
That's
a corpse pile, if you will.
Well, that's just
I don't know
that's
if I
just
would
silly.
count a moving one as a corpse. I feel like a corpse should be reserved for an inanimate. Well, that's just my opinion on the way it is.
Yeah. I actually do need a navigation roll still. I don't think that was rolled.
That's Silas, and Lucas is on fishing.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
That was my phone vibrating. Clan conflict is over.
Oh. Gon, we need you to, no, you hid. We need you to, roll navigation, actually.
Oh, okay, we're moving on. Alright. I was hoping that was an initiative, but... Oh, well.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We wind up in the city.
No,
Interesting.
Well,
one for that.
The
Interesting.
good news is we could have an excuse to map wherever we wound up.
So, you end up somewhere. You get turned around pretty bad while avoiding the undead, and while you are approaching, you see first in the distance a ruined Nilfenbergian stone watchtower.
I don't remember this.
We should probably investigate.
Oh, they're probably all dead. It's fine.
So, best case scenario, we'll find some scrolls, maybe something with fog cloud. In any event, there could be some value there.
Yes.
Yeah, no arguments here.
All right. As you get closer to the ruined tower, Bort and Silas, roll perception.
$20.
Bort, as you see 90 yards, sorry, not yards, this isn't GURPS, 90 feet away, you see seven of those stilt walkers coming away from the ruined tower towards your boat.
Stilt walkers, get the boats out of the way.
Oh no.
I think they see us, so we can't exactly run now.
It may be time to test out my new spell.
Unless we want to walk to the Catopla Pass, maybe so.
All right, so let's pull up ashore, and I'll do that.
All right. You have they're just walking towards you right now. Perhaps trying to intimidate you into fleeing. But they you have a moment to pull your boats onto the nearest bit of land and set yourself down.
Lucas will tee up a fireball.
All right. That was supposed to be a GM roll. Okay. Well, you have the range, and they're clumped. There are a lot of them. They're probably too spread out. You can probably hit. I guess I should have put them on a map or something. I'll say you can get, let's see, there are 7 of them. I'll say you can hit 3 at best.
How badly do we want to fight this tower, guys?
Well, we're gonna have to fight them if we want to investigate this tower. So
The tower might have something cool. I mean, it's a tower.
All right.
They usually
Well,
do.
let's get started on that.
Okay. Okay. So it's dexterity save against 15 for half. Alright, I think these guys have that. So 1, 2, 3. So Lucas, do you want to give us a description of what your fireball sounds like?
Lucas takes a moment or two to cast the spell. He creates a small orb of a small red orb, which he then sets down, which hovers a half inch above the ground. He carefully stands beside it, lining up his toes. He holds his walking stick, handle side down, with a big back swing and a twist of his body. He swings and it goes flying through the air. Eventually, it crashes in the distance and explodes with a loud, fiery sound, full of crackling.
Nice.
Hmm.
Oh no, but you didn't shout 4.
Oh, it didn't miss.
Okay, that was a unimpressive fireball sound effect that they provided for me, but very well. Was hoping for something cool like the lightning. Maybe this one's better. Much better.
Definitely.
Yes.
lightning. Play the golf sound effect.
4. Okay. So your fireball explodes, and 2 of the stilt walkers are immediately melts. Flesh immediately melts from their bones, and their pikes burn in their stumps, and they fall over. And the other one is horribly burned, but still alive. And the 4 unharmed and one burnt stilt walker begin to charge. Roll initiative. As soon as I remove all turns from the tracker. Okay. Now roll initiative.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, good. I only rolled 4 last time. Wow, 3 crits.
Jeez.
We are in a hurry today. Some of us
Except for
even-
Phil. Three of us are in a hurry. Two of us are deciding to just take it. Four of us are in a hurry.
Con didn't roll a crit, and nobody cares.
Oh.
Well, that just burned all of our luck for this fight.
Have fun not being able to hit anything else. Alright.
I felt like I burned all my luck earlier today when I did the example roll in the Skull Monarch channel and got 3 15s in a row and then a 19 and a 20. Well, everything I do in Fever Swamp tonight is gonna suck.
Alright. So, I don't really think that we need like a battle map for this. But yeah. So you've got 5 Stiltwalkers charging at you. Lucas, the initiative is yours.
All right. Lucas will fire a firebolt at the one that survived his fireball.
Okay.
Does an 11 hit?
No, it does
Alright.
not. So, fireball goes wide. Bort.
Crossbow. Against the same one.
Okay.
Uh,
22
22.
does hit.
Oh, yeah, gotta put the turn order in order.
Oh. Sorry.
I was thinking, how the hell am I next?
Yes.
9 piercing damage.
I'm very sorry that it had 10 hit points left.
That's just going.
Yep. Kildrak.
How far are they?
90 feet.
90. I'm gonna double check the range on. Oh, disadvantage either way. So I guess I'll just chuck a javelin at the weak one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. With concentrated fire, that one goes down. Silas.
Yep, I was just trying to find the range bands for the gunpowder weapons again.
Mm.
Because there's not actually a place on the sheet to write the ranges, as far as I remember. I thought it was probably going to be disadvantage at 90 feet, but I could be wrong about that.
There should be under the first attack. There should be a entry for range. If you
Yeah, because I
expand
have it
in the
for
gear.
last.
Oh, huh. Okay, alright, I need to fill that out.
Yeah.
Let's see though, it's 40 and 120, unfortunately, so yep.
Yep. So you'll be in disadvantage range.
Yep. Despite it being a long shot, Silas lifts his musket and creates a much smaller and less impressive explosion than Lucas's.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
And you roll a 19 on with so a 14 damage. All right.
Wow.
So yeah, you shoot one of them half dead. The Stiltwalkers all dash forward. They close 60 feet. So they're now just 30 feet away from the island you've taken refuge on. Ixa, enemies incoming.
Right.
Ranger.
They're 30 feet away.
Yes. Javelining
That's short
range, I believe.
For javelin. Or actually, what's the weather right now? Is it clear?
Clear.
Yeah, disadvantage either way then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should just throw a javelin at the one that's already damaged. And miss, I'm pretty sure.
Mm. Yeah. That's definitely a miss. Phil Sticker.
Alright. Well, since they're within 60 feet, how many of them are still alive? 4?
Yeah, right. That you can see them right there on the screen.
Oh.
Oh wait,
Are they
are you
clumped
on a?
in 20?
They're not clumped.
Okay.
How many? Like
No,
what?
I can see it. I just didn't have it scrolled over.
Yeah. That is not to scale. That is not meant to represent them. There's no battle map right now. That's just where I'm keeping track of their hit points.
Oh, okay, they're underneath the initiative box. That's why I couldn't find them.
Oh, sorry. I had moved my initiative box, but
Alright, in that case, you just will shoot Eldritch Blasts at
yeah. If
that
your
one that's
questioning
revolving.
was revolving around wanting to get some of them in like Fairy Fire, you could probably get a
Yeah.
couple of them.
Yeah, okay, I'll try to get a couple of them in Fairy Fire.
Okay.
Please make dexterity saving throws for whatever the largest grouping is.
Okay, let's see. 20 foot cube. All right. So let's see, but that's not
Just roll a d4.
yeah, so yeah. Actually, I'm going to roll a d3. Okay. So you can get up to 2 of them. You can either get the 2 fresh ones or the one that is hurt and a fresh one. Which grouping do you prefer?
Fresh ones.
Okay.
Fresh ones.
All right. This is
I
a
feel like
dex.
you should draw battle maps for every fight, you know, so like when your dad's watching, if he feels like looking at the screen instead of looking at the road, he's got something to examine.
Okay.
And
So you fairy fired one of them.
All right.
The one with the red dot's been fairy fired.
Gotcha.
Okay. Is that all from Phil Sticker?
Yeah.
Okay. We're back at the top. We're with Bort.
cool. Gonna heavy crossbow the one that's injured.
Okay.
8 does not hit.
No. See, you should have went with the fairy fired one because you would have hit because of the advantage.
Yes, it's unfortunate, but I'm trying to kill these things. I'm trying to reduce their numbers as quickly as possible, as we all should be.
Yes, that makes sense. Lucas.
Okay, Lucas will shoot at the most heavily damaged one.
Okay.
Yay!
Got
Oh.
Got him.
him. 2 damage on your 2d10.
Yeah,
Minimum damage. There you go. It happens.
1% of the time.
Yes. So, that's Lucas. So Kildrak.
How many are within 30 feet of me?
They're all like in a fuzzy 30-foot range. If you like step to the front, they can all be within 30 feet.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my Pipes of Haunting.
All right. So you begin.
Probably should have seen that coming.
Yes, I knew why you were asking. So you step forward and begin to play the Pipes of Haunting, and this is a DC 15 Wisdom save.
Yes.
All right. Cool. They suck apparently.
All contextual.
Yes.
As long as it's not fairy fire.
All right. So they they are faced with supernatural fear of Kildrak. And Silas, it's your turn.
Oh, kill the rest.
Mm-hmm. Silas attempts to shoot another one with his musket.
Which one? The injured one, the ferried one, or the other ones?
Well, you get advantage to target one with fairy fire, even if it's a ranged attack. I forget.
Yes.
All right, cool. Then I'm gonna do that to. Oh no, not to offset the disadvantage in range because they got closer now. Just gonna take advantage of that in general.
Somebody appreciates you, Phil Sticker. All right, that's a hit. 7 damage. That's a wounded Stiltwalker. The Stiltwalkers all stop advancing in fear of Kildrak and his mighty pipes. But
Kildrak puts the pipes down for a second and just says "boo."
but equally compelled by their boat destroying fury, they merely stop in position, not advancing but not retreating either, and they take the dodge action. And they get to roll to see if they recover from being afeared. 1 does, 2 does, 3 of them do.
Damn. Well, that's a turn, anyways.
Yeah.
It's hard to complain about that, to be honest.
Yeah. If you hadn't done that, your front line would have been looking at 4 attacks this round. You basically just saved the party from 4 attacks.
Well, up to 4 attacks.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, if we all miss right now, we didn't really do anything, but...
That's true.
Right. We might want to focus fire the fairy fired one just to...
Yeah, because it won't have... we won't have disadvantage on that one. That's a good call.
Mm-hmm. And, Ixa, it is your turn.
Okay. The damaged one is what? Feared? Afraid?
Yeah, it's the damaged one is still afraid. They all dodged, so you have disadvantage on all of them. But the fairy fired one is fairy fired, so you also have advantage, so that cancels out.
Probably he's one of the ones that's actually going to attack us next turn.
Yes. Also, he's within range to attack you guys next turn.
Yeah, the feared one, the existing damaged one, won't attack us next turn because it's still afraid. Don't worry about it.
Okay, the one with the red circle is fairy fired?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so to get this right, I had disadvantage for the weather, and it dodged for more disadvantage. I got advantage from fairy fire.
So it's flat. It's neutral. So you rolled a 6, of course. So
it's all academic.
Yeah. There you go. Javelin into the water. Phil Sticker.
Alright. Phil Sticker shoots an Eldritch Blast at the fairy fired one.
Yeah, it hits.
Yes, with 18 you hit.
7.
You swamp it in one of its body parts. It doesn't have arms, so you swamp it in a shoulder. Bort, we're back up to you.
Right. I'm gonna keep crossbowing. I'm gonna crossbow the fairy fired one.
Makes sense.
11 probably does not hit.
It does not. It dodges the arrow.
Bolt.
Bolt, yes. Crossbow. Lucas.
Okay, Lucas is going to attempt to firebolt the fairy-fired one.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 13 hit?
I'm afraid not. It dodges the firebolt.
All right.
These things have a 14 AC. Kildrak.
Okay.
Things haven't gone quite according to plan.
No, they
Save
really
us,
haven't.
Kilder.
One of them is still afraid.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna play the pipes again?
Does that work?
Oh wait, no. Once they save, I think they're immune for the rest of the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for 24 hours.
Right. Okay. Then no. Then the pipes
Yeah,
are of no
that's-
more use.
That's a one-time thing.
Yeah. That makes
Otherwise,
sense.
it'd be
Otherwise, you
hard.
could just use it all the time forever.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would never stop using them.
Right. Well,
Let's see.
they break if you use them too much, but
What I think I will try instead is Bane.
okay. Can you break? Can you click
Yeah,
click
sorry,
Bane
I've-
to?
I've got it. I had it in the wrong mode.
Okay. Up to 3 visible creatures of your choice in 30 feet. That's fine. All right. So which 3 do you want to bane? The 3 that aren't feared.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Charisma save.
Yeah.
What the fuck kind of charisma does a Stiltwalker have?
I wouldn't assume it would be great.
Yeah. But also they're very weird undead, so I don't know.
And my save DC is a 14.
I have something in mind that I'm going to give them the charisma bonus of. Huh. All right. So I'm sorry, you said it's the 14?
Yeah.
All right. How's that?
It's something.
Yeah, you bane 2 of them. This is the symbol for Bane for no particular reason. No. And yeah. All right. Good move, Kildrak.
Trying
Silas.
to do that bard stuff.
Yep.
Continuing the musket approach.
Okay, on which one? The fairy fire?
Yeah, because we were.
Doesn't
close
matter.
fire.
13
Yeah,
fails.
Does not help.
Yeah. Okay. So the one that's we're back to the Siltwalkers. The one that is afraid, it's does not advance and continues to be afraid. So it holds its ground. The other
Will haze it longer.
the other 3 rush forward, and I'm guessing that you have situated yourselves with your warrior types up front. Kildrak had to get is definitely in the front because he had to get close to use his pipes. So I'm gonna have 1 attack against Silas, 1 on Kildrak, and 1 on Bort.
In that order?
Yes. So, Silas,
No.
Kildrak, Bort. And the top two would have gotten an additional minus 1d4 that I forgot to apply. So those are definitely all misses. But those three are now in melee with the party. Ixa. You can now hit one of them with your sword if you like.
All right. Remind me what Bane did.
Bane is giving them a minus 1d4 to all of their d20 rolls.
Okay. I'd still be better off hitting the one with Fairy Fire then, right?
Yes. That would be the best thing for you to do, in my opinion.
And she will miss with her
Yeah.
sword. Terribly.
Bane does not give them disadvantage.
Right.
Yeah, but he's fairy fired and he didn't dodge this turn.
Right. No, I was just confirming that the fairy fire is their best target.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That should hit.
No, because she's also blinded by the sun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So it cancels out. Philsticker.
All right, I shoot Eldritch Blast at Mr. Fairy Fire.
So, never mind.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me.
Yeah, but for next round, remember to tell Grandfather Rot you don't like them, so he sends them an extra d6 necrotic damage.
Yeah. Oh yes, I've been deliberately not doing that until I kill this guy, and now I can do it.
And that one is slain.
After last time, I remember my spells
Mm-hmm.
for now,
Yes.
until I get a new one.
So that was Philsticker. So Bort.
Right.
Yeah,
It's Mullinan time. Are the? I have an important question. Are these two both close enough that I can hit both of them?
How would you hit both of them?
With a sweeping attack, which is a maneuver from Battlemaster.
Oh. For the sake of showing off Bort's new cool powers, yes, they are definitely close enough that you can do a sweeping attack.
Cool. I'm going to spend a superiority die, and I am going to maul, and we shall see how well this goes. And a 19 would hit both of them.
They have a 14 AC each.
All right, cool. So, I'm going to do my normal damage to one of them, I guess the top one,
Okay.
and that's 8. And then I am going to roll a d8, and the other one is going to take that damage.
Okay.
Okay, so one takes 8 and one takes 6.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use Action Surge
Okay.
and spend another superiority die for a sweeping attack.
Okay.
And this one is going to be reversed.
Okay,
So-
so the main attack will be on the bottom one.
Yes.
Okay.
Assuming it hits, of course.
Right.
That hits.
That does.
Okay. Another 10 bludgeoning
All right.
and another 6 bludgeoning.
All right. So yeah, you swing your maul back and forth, and batter them a bit and cleave some flesh from their torsos. They manage to stand, but well, you can tell that they're on their last pike legs. It was a good turn. Lucas, Bort's being amazing up there. What are you going to do?
He's gonna shoot a firebolt at one of the ones Bort is being amazing at.
All right.
And totally steal Bort's thunder. It's not bad.
Yeah, 13 damage. Yeah. So yeah. Lucas comes in and drops one of them, leaving only one engaged in melee. And the other one still fearful of Kildrak as it comes to Kildrak's turn.
Well, now that I've done bardic stuff, I'm just going to hit it with an axe.
Good.
Excellent transition.
I hit it with an axe.
You hit the shit out of it with an axe. Okay.
Or not.
It ceases to be as Kildrak runs up and brings his axe over and decapitates the Stiltwalker, and it falls to the ground, slain.
That would have been the worst time for it has one more hit point left.
Silas, there is one fearful-looking Stiltwalker still remaining about 30 feet away from you.
Cool. Well, he quickly finishes reloading his musket in the wake of seeing that very impressive axe attack, and is he's gonna shoot the last Stiltwalker as it runs.
All right. No, you have disadvantage as it did dodge.
Oh yeah, fair. All right, so
Oh.
no.
Miss. All right. It dodges again and ceases to be afraid. It has summons up its courage, and it takes its turn.
It's not like you can get any more disadvantaged on this.
Pretty much. Hey, she actually hit.
Hey, she does. And you kill it.
Excellent.
So Ixa hurls her javelin, and it strikes the Stiltwalker in the face, and it falls down. And she says, "Did I hit it?"
Belster hexes the javelin.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. They are dead. They're all dead.
We did?
The Stiltwalkers are dead.
And now we
We
get
did.
the greatest treasure of all, the giant tower.
What mysteries could it hold? What waterlogged
We don't need to
former
go home
treasures?
It's our new base.
If only we knew where it was.
That's what the map is for. Just don't fail to put it on the map, I guess. So then we
We're
lose it and
lost
never
now.
find
We
it.
have to start a new map based
We'll
around this
probably have to
watchtower.
crash at the tower overnight and map the hex. It's true.
Now, the
The-
new map
it's
isn't
a-
compatible with the old maps.
It's a stone tower, right?
Yes, but also partly ruined.
I'm going to use stone cunning just to see if there's anything interesting I can discover about it. Where the
Okay.
rocks came from, maybe, or
All right.
something. And I crit fail.
What's an elven tower doing out here in the in the swamp?
So a tower made out of stone like this should stand for 10,000 years.
Something horrible must have happened.
But Lucas will attempt a more mundane search of the tower. Does it have a roof still, first of all?
Okay. So, if you're going to go and land up on it,
No, I'm just going to have Balearica fly over top and look at it.
Oh, okay. The Beliarica is able to tell you that it looks like that there is a tarp thrown over the top. It looks. She surmises that it was uncovered. The roof has collapsed, but someone is camping inside.
We should.
The Stillwalkers.
Thank you. Then, in that case, Lucas will take a few steps forward and shout out, "Hello! In the tower! We've dealt with the Stiltwalkers!"
Okay, and I will have an answer for you, but I would like to take a 5-minute break real quick, and then you will get to talk to someone rather interesting.
Okay.
Oh
Alright.
boy.
Okay, so we're back. So, as you approach the ruined tower, you see that there is a door, one entrance on the ground floor, and it is shut. As Lucas calls out his greeting, a voice replies, "Stay back! Stay back! And it's contagious. You don't want to come in."
All right, we'll keep well back. My name is Lucas Dietrichstein. I'm from the Imperial Order of Cartographers from Nilfenberg.
A cartographer. I'm Gert von Hemmer.
My body.
Lucas, being an Imperial and an educated one, can roll like history.
Okay. Let's get right on that.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you know this guy.
You have his biography in your backpack.
Well, maybe not that, but you have read some of his research papers when you were in university. You recognize his name, Gert von Hemmer. He is one of the he is uniquely trusted by the Empire to research dangerous occult topics. And
Spell that for me.
okay. I will copy it and put it in the Roll20 channel. Gert von Hemmer.
The Gert von Hemmer? I'll shout back.
The only one I've ever met.
The wizard, Gert von Hemmer.
I dabble.
The published wizard, Gert von Hemmer.
That would be me, yes.
Well, I've good news for you, sir. We have a paladin traveling with us.
Primus be praised. I knew another couple of days like this and I'd be dead. But those damn Stiltwalkers, I've been held up in here for days now. Did you see them?
Yes, I've dealt with them. We've dealt with them.
Okay.
Can we send our paladin in? Be forewarned, she is a kobold, but she's very friendly.
A koboldish paladin.
Yes.
I never thought I'd see the day.
Guys, this is why people don't like Imperials. You need to stop.
Well, it's your lucky day twice over, sir.
Okay. I'm unlocking the door. It is contagious though, so those of you who are not blessed by the gods should probably stay back.
Gildrak has already been backing away.
Will do.
All right. So Ixa, you approached the door, and you open it, and oh boy, it smells in here. It smells like some sort of mammal has been living in this the first floor of this one tower for like weeks without being able to leave. And you find there's an older man, and he's like clutching at his guts, at his abdomen, and he seems in a lot of pain. And he says, and you look around, and he's clearly made this tower into a sort of a campsite. He's got well, he's got all of his supplies scattered about, including some stuff that you can tell at a glance is quite valuable. And he says, what's your name, little paladin?
She just coming through well. Can you hear me?
No.
I figured. Okay, how about now?
I can hear you now, though.
Okay. So yeah, she told him her name was Ixa, and now she slowly approaches.
Mm-hmm. He sits down on a chair and allows her to come close and do her thing.
Okay. And without saying anything, as usual, she just touches him, and poof, all better.
Yeah. So you touch him, and he's whatever he had is something very nasty. Sala, shut that up. Mute yourself. But she is able to cure him, and he sighs. He says, "Thank you."
You're welcome.
Today is my lucky day.
She nods and looks back to the door.
As she looks back to the door, she sees that there is symbols written onto the wall around the door in blood.
None of the script you can read, I'm assuming.
No, probably not. Well, maybe. Let's see.
Arcana check?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Pretty sure that's not true. No.
No. All you can tell is that there's some sort of that's some sort of knowledge written in some obscure script that she doesn't know.
She ponders that for a moment, and of course doesn't want anyone else to come inside right now in case it's so contagious, so she turns back to him and says, should we leave, meet the others?
I need some moments to pack up my belongings. Then yes, if you all can see me see me out of the swamp, I can arrange. I'm so thankful for you all. I will have quite a reward for you if you can help me out here.
She nods and says, "Okay, Ixa will tell the others." And she heads out to relay that information.
And he begins packing his stuff.
So, as a question of geography that Lucas would naturally know the answer to, in order to get someone out of the swamp, do we actually have to get them to Clink, or can they comfortably exit from any map border and arrive at a road in a reasonable amount of time?
Okay. Due to how I have designed the world beyond the Fever Swamp, you could only safely get him out by taking him to a northern border. The southern border takes you into territory that you do not want to send him into.
Okay.
And the east takes him into mountains, and the west takes him into something else.
Where elves go when they are tired of the world.
No, that's much farther west. Jungle, I think. But
Well,
or rainforest.
then we are going to need to make a decision about whether we take this NPC into battle with the Katobla Pass, or whether we once again abort that and make our way to Clink. We should probably ask him what his feelings are about all of that. He's a legendary, necromancer. He might know Fog Cloud.
You might know Cloud Kill.
He's more of a scholar than a wizard.
He might be a Catobla Pass.
Well, Lucas will run it by him. So, I'm afraid you've caught us at something of a bad time. We're supposed to be killing a Katobla Pass in order to appease one of the native spirits, that it may provide us the answer to a riddle we need to solve in order to, I think, prevent the destruction of creation. We could take you back to Clink first, but it's a bit out of the way.
He takes a moment to take in everything that you said, and then doubles back and says, "There's a Katobla Pass nearby?"
Somewhat nearby. At least a day or so.
Oh, okay. Well,
A day by our reckoning. Do we know how fast a Katobla Pass can move?
they're generally slow and ponderous creatures.
Territorial, probably.
Yeah, they tend to defend their...
Stay wherever they've killed everything.
Yeah, until they've exhausted even that, and then they move on. But that takes time. They don't tend to wander far if they have a good source of food. I would rather not be within, spitting distance of a live Katobla Pass.
Thank you for making your feelings clear. What do the rest of you think? Do we divert to Clink?
Now hold. I don't want to be such a large burden. Do you all have a There was a village nearby here. Do you have a positive?
Oh yes, very. They're excellent people. You'll get along splendidly, I'm sure.
I met them once before, but they did not seem willing to communicate. I gathered that there were reasons for that, but
Oh, they don't speak, but they do understand.
yes, yes, that was I gathered as much. But I merely meant to say that we didn't have an unpleasant meeting. So perhaps I could stay in their village while you slay this beast, and then return with you to Clink after.
Yes, of course. We should finish mapping this area as well. Would you mind another night in the tower? I'll tidy it first.
If it is a map you want, there's an old one. This was a watchtower near the old settlement that was here.
Lucas's eyes light up. Yes, I should very much like to see that.
Yeah, it'll be a few decades out of date, but it should have the major landmarks.
Should be more than enough for my expedition's purposes.
Mm-hmm. And you gain let's see, let me go to the GM info there and pop a few things to the next layer. All right. Tokens. No.
Do these hexes count as mapped for the purpose of navigation?
Yeah. Let's see. Copy. There you go.
All right. Lucas is thrilled with this. And agrees that yes, we should drop him off at the village of the Faceless Ones. They've been excellent hosts so far, and I'm sure they'll understand we had to turn back because we met a sick person who needed our help.
Yep. And so he's given you this map, and it's an old military map from a few decades ago, but it shows this south area, southwest area of the swamp. It shows you where the failed settlement was, the watchtower that you're at now, and includes the monastery, which is off by itself a few days away.
Well, that will be another important trip to make, but we can't delay the Catobal Pass too long.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But information was gained, and all because I randomly rolled you going into an interesting hex.
Well, excellent.
I'm happy with that outcome.
Yeah, failing to navigate was good this time.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, Gert says, so Gert gives you the map of the area. He says, I'd rather not spend another night in a tower as long as I live.
Do we have time to get back to the village of the Faceless Ones tonight?
I guess technically you shouldn't, but sure, you can double time it back to the village.
All right, then by all means.
Okay. Um, on the way, you encounter some scumboggles. There's 5 of them. They recognize Phil Sticker's nest as his scumboggle hat. Um, and approach playfully.
How many scumboggles are there?
5 of them.
The cheese ledger shall be appropriately deducted.
Show them magic tricks.
Gert seems amused. He says, I've never seen scumboggles so friendly.
They adore Nilfenberg Stilton.
Oh.
We keep a chest of it around just for this purpose. The little ghost children eat candy, although sweetened cheese will do.
That's quite remarkable. And he begins writing these things down.
Lucas has already made notes of this, and it compares notes on creatures we've encountered so far. He'll speak quite highly of Phil Sticker throughout this note comparing process on the way. We're probably sharing Canoe 5, because Phil Sticker apparently knows how to talk to every monster in the swamp and get it to not fight you, which has been just absolutely remarkable. He's going to be a key feature in the novel that will eventually be written about this expedition.
He does ask, there is one creature that I don't see in your notes here, that I have heard about from talking with some of the other people, those that would speak to me. Have you heard of the one they call Hunger?
No.
That's a metaphor.
Oh, Phil Sticker, please.
That was a joke.
Yeah. Well, Hunger, they say, lives in makes his home in the eastern swamp. They say that he's the spirit of an elder shaman that was devoured by a giant crocodile, and it has since grown to gargantuan size. It's huge and mad and evil. They call him Hunger. And he is apparently one of the most fearsome beasts in the swamp.
We have actually heard about the crocodile, I just can't remember the context.
Oh yes, we're gonna have
I'm
Killdrag
pretty sure
rest.
someone in Clink mentioned it, or maybe at the Village of the Faceless Ones, the shaman talked about it. Someone did, because it sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Corandir wanted to go hunting it, but
Oh, okay, so that plot thread left with Kelvin is what happened, I see.
mm-hmm.
Oh right, that was his goal or something.
Well, his goal was to kill a giant crocodile, and he heard about Hunger from someone in Clink, I think. But yeah, the fact that it is a shaman spirit bound to a crocodile is new information for you.
Not in such detail, I don't believe we had heard of it. I'll add it to the list of things to watch for when we're mapping that side of the swamp.
Yes. I hope you don't run into it, but from the stories I hear. But
How would you say it compares to a Catoblopass?
I wouldn't want to fight either. The stories I hear of Hunger are terrifying. It destroying boats and eating, swallowing people whole are quite worrying. to say the least. But Catoblepass will strike you dead by just gazing at you. I'd say both are fairly equally horrible.
We hope to defeat the Catoblepass by maintaining distance, striking at it with long-range weaponry, fireballs, that sort of thing.
I don't.
Hopefully we'll have similar opportunities with every monster in the swamp.
Yes. I don't know what the range on a Catoblepass's death gaze is. So perhaps that strategy will work for you. I hope so.
Yes, well, we'll leave you here then. Take another rest, and in the morning we'll find out. Well, morning after tomorrow.
So you return to Village of the Faceless Ones, and you spend the night, and nobody gets sick. Next day comes, you're gonna take a long rest.
Are we?
That was a
I do want
question.
that fireball back.
I don't need the long rest to get the fireball back because I get 3 spell levels a day back for short resting.
Let me double check if I
Yeah,
get.
and I
I-
didn't actually expend any resources except for bullets or musket balls or whatever you call them.
Gunpowder, mostly.
I only used one level 1 spell, so
Well, it doesn't sound like anyone else needs it, but I'm gonna double check anyway just to see if I can get my superiority dice back after a short. Yeah, I can get all my superiority dice back after a short rest, so I'm good.
All right. So yeah, so you take you rest there for the night. The next day comes, and you're good to try and set out north again. And it's 1:30, so I guess we'll just leave it here for the week.
Another day, another not attacking the Catoblepass.
Yeah, but some significant progress was made nonetheless.
Yep.
And you met Gert.
And saved its life.
Yeah. Which is a lot easier to do because we're playing 5th edition than it would have been in the system that this adventure this module was really was designed with in mind. Because he's supposed to send you on a quest to get something that can cure him from the failed monastery, but you just had cure disease.
Well, it would have been a fun quest, but then we would have had him and the body of a saint in our boat, and we wouldn't have gotten to the Catoblepass.
Yeah.
You just randomly declare that, well, actually, Leon Hands doesn't work for brain rots. It's it not working for whatever super diarrhea he.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded, but it's not like we're not going to go to the Lost Monastery eventually anyway, so it's not really lost content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 He had magically contagious appendix cancer, which would have killed him in 4 days after you meet him, by making his guts explode.
man, that is unpleasant.
Yeah, and I mean, we would have had to have gone, 2 hexes, then 1 hex, then 1 hex, then 2 hexes. So
Yeah.
any failed navigation rolls and he dies.
Yeah, when I was reading this, I was like, they've just basically made it impossible for you to save him unless you like went to the monastery first, and happened to be, encounter him on your way back. This just seems like if they just made it a week, this would seem a more reasonable, side quest. But I didn't write it. And you guys have enough disease curing things that you can that you were able to do that anyway.
I mean, depending on what level you are, I think there's at least one cure disease spell that clerics could get.
No.
Pre.
Lesser Restoration is a 2nd level spell, which is the first spell that you can get. But paladins can cure 1 disease per long rest right from level 1. Because of how Lay on Hands works. I was debating during the 5-minute break, do I let them just lay on hands? Do I make this more complicated somehow? I went back and forth because I was like, it's not supposed to be that easy, but it should be that easy. But maybe because it is cancerous, so maybe cure disease doesn't work on cancer. Maybe that can be the thing. I don't know. That seems reasonable, but then I'd have to make that decision, and I don't know. I went with it.
I think it was the right call. I think that A, we're still going to the Lost Monastery. B, alright, let's just see now. At Convalescence, make 4 navigation checks.
Oh no, I don't feel so good about this.
They're all to map hexes, so I think that's advantage for all of them, but...
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How many billions of experience do we get for recovering this map? Come on.
We got to the monastery.
Okay.
We'd have made it. We'd have made it.
All right.
Wow.
You'd have made it, assuming that you could clear out the monastery in, 1 day.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But there you go.
Possibly 2 days, because maybe we do 20 minutes of adventuring in the evening and then 20 minutes after breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Either way, we're gonna go to the Lost Monastery, so it's not like we needed this plot hook to get us there. We have another plot hook for that already.
Yep. So, that works. They're all interconnected. And next time we kill the Catoblepass.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
And
Unfortunately, his boots are just for stomping, so I don't know about killing him.
although I've been saying next week the Catoblepass for I've said that many times and it is yet to be true. But this time maybe for real.
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see if we can manage to navigate the swamp this time.
That's the hard part. But alright. Thank you all for playing. And see you guys next week. Or talk to you next week. Bye.
Yep. Play again next week.